Princeton coach Scott Bradley played 9 seasons in the majors, and his Tigers were the Ivy League champs. Steve Renfro's Auburn Tigers have won 40 games, the most in his 3 years as coach, and these Tigers are the nation's number 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. It's Auburn and Princeton next on CSS. Live from a sold-out Plainsman Park in Auburn, Alabama, it's Game 2 of the NCAA Regionals, as tonight the top-seeded Auburn Tigers take on the 4th-seeded Princeton Tigers. And hello again, everybody. I'm Matt Stewart, joined by Andy Birch, and we've already had one upset, so to speak, earlier in the day, as the number 3 seed Ohio State knocked off the number 2 seed Clemson, sending those Tigers into the losers bracket tomorrow.
Ohio State got 3 timely home runs, a pair of 2-run homers, and then a solo shot, but it took 3 insurance runs in the top half of the 9th for the Buckeyes to win that one against the Clemson Tigers.
Well, there you see the Buckeyes move into the winners bracket. They play at 4 o'clock tomorrow against the winner of this ball game, Princeton and Auburn, while Clemson draws the loser of this ball game tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern in an elimination game. Now, Princeton got here as the Ivy League champs, but they started the season 0-5 and 1-9, but rebounded to go 15-5 in their conference and beat Harvard in the championship series. They're led by the third baseman, John Miller.
Yeah, John Miller started the season actually as a catcher and made the transition to third base. He leads the team in batting average and also 32 runs batted in for the Princeton Tigers. This is a very, very solid squad that Auburn will face here tonight.
Well, the Auburn Tigers are hosting a regional for the first time since 1999. They are the number 4 national seed. That's the highest national seed that Auburn has ever attained, and they're led by Javon Moran, who sets the table, had a big SEC tournament.
Yeah, bats number 2 in the Auburn lineup, outstanding. Junior leads the team in stolen bases, also has some pop with 4 homers and 37 runs batted in.
All right, it's Auburn and Princeton. We'll come back with the starting lineups and the first pitch right after this timeout on CSS. Auburn University, site of one of 16 NCAA regionals that started today around the nation. 3rd time in Auburn's history that they have hosted a regional, and as I said a few moments ago, the first time since 1999, and they have a sold-out Plainsman's Park for this nightcap here, and an overflow crowd as the folks have gathered in right field and center field to watch this ball game here. The Auburn Tigers started this season with great expectations, ranked number 2 in the pseudo RPI, and come in as a number 4 national team. A lot of expectations as they open this regional tonight against the Princeton Tigers.
Well, no question about that, and there was some worry in Auburn with the Tigers going just 2-2 in the Southeastern Conference tournament that they may not be a national top 8 seed, but not only a national top 8 seed, but the number 4 seed, and a very strong non-conference schedule for Auburn that included Clemson and Georgia Tech and South Alabama, and wins against those teams, and Auburn gets the number 4 national seed, and the Tigers hosting Clemson and hosting this region.
Well, the Auburn Tigers have taken the field here, and let's take a look at the Tigers defensively with Sean Gamble in left, Javon Moran in center, Cleet Thomas in right, Carl Ammonite the first baseman, Tug Hewlett is the second baseman, Chuck Giralman at short, Scott Shade is the third baseman, and behind the plate is the catcher Bobby Huddleston. And on the mound for the Auburn Tigers is Lavelle Spigner.
One of 3 seniors on this Auburn ball club, came out of the bullpen most of the season, but made starts at LSU and at home against Ole Miss in the last 2 SEC series for Auburn, and won both of those games, and really a big part in Auburn winning 18 games in the Southeastern Conference. A 9-0 record and a 2.72 earned run average. He also has a save. 4 complete or no complete games, but has just been very, very solid for Auburn this season. Be interesting to see how he pitches tonight. He was Auburn's starting pitcher a year ago in the regional in Tuscaloosa and didn't even get out of the first inning against a very good Florida Atlantic team that went on to win that regional. And Lavelle Spigner draws the start for Auburn in game 1 of its regional here this evening.
And he is out of Thomasville, Georgia, where he played at Thomasville High School, a senior. And he starts this ball game for the Auburn Tigers tonight, having not lost a game all season long. And they're the Princeton Tigers, 27-21 on the season under head coach Scott Bradley, a 9-year major league catcher with the Yankees and White Sox, among other teams. And leading off to start this game for the Princeton Tigers will be Steve Young, the second baseman. Young at 288, no homers and 18 RBI on the season. First pitch is a strike, and we are underway from Auburn, Alabama. Young, a junior out of Brentwood, California. Brentwood High School, that's Granada Hills, California. And the count is 1-1 to Steve Young. 1-1 misses low, and it's now 2-1.
Spigner is not a hard thrower, relies on location, and has developed a split finger fastball in his senior season.
2-1 pitch is hit out of play, and the count now 2-2 to Steve Young. The 2-2 pitch missed low. It's now 3-2. Already today, as we mentioned, Ohio State has moved on in the winner's bracket here with a mild upset, if you call the 3 beating the 2 an upset. The 2-2 or 3-2 is a chop to Hewlett. He's going to have to charge and scoop with the glove, and he got him. Whoa, what a defensive play by Tug Hewlett to start this ballgame.
Tug tried the same play in the SEC tournament, wasn't as quite successful, but got a good break on this one. And watch, with the glove and just scoops it to first base. Ammonite with the big stretch and 1 out in the inning.
So a good start for the Auburn Tigers, and here is the center fielder, B.J. Szymanski. He's batting .329 with a couple of homers and 30 RBI. Szymanski, a sophomore out of Ryder High School in Wichita Falls, Texas. Takes the first pitch for a ball, and the count is 1-0.
Good speed, 13 stolen bases on the season for Szymanski. And he fouls that one back and uses that speed elsewhere. He's also going to be one of the top wide receivers on the Princeton football team this fall.
One of two-sport athletes on this ball club in the starting lineup for Princeton tonight. 1-1, just missed low, I suppose, and outside. Count 2-1. The other is Venable, who's not in the starting lineup for Princeton tonight, but is also a point guard for Princeton's basketball team and is the son of former major leaguer Max Venable. That's Will Venable. Two-two pitch, struck him out. 2 down in the inning.
Another look at the strikeout, the first of the night for Spigner, a little bit up in the zone, but tailing away from the left-handed hitter.
And here is the third baseman, John Miller. Miller at .346 leads the ball club, 2 homers and 32 RBI. First pitch to him is outside, and the count is 1-0. Miller is a senior out of Sidwell Friends High School in Washington, D.C. Got a piece of it. Huddleston held on, and the count's 1-2.
Spigner's 9-0. Excuse me. Spigner's 9-0 start, the best since Chris Butchek back in '99 for Auburn. Now 2-1, and Butchek right in AAA ball. And I would expect a call up for Chris this year in the Anaheim Angels organization.
World champions. 2-1. Called strike on the outside corner, and it goes 2-2 to John Miller. Now the crowd looking for a strikeout to end the inning, and they got it. Spigner strikes out 2 in the first. We played half an inning from Plainsman Park. Princeton scoreless. Auburn coming to bat. Bottom of the first with Princeton scoreless and Auburn coming to bat here at Plainsman Park. Game 2 of this NCAA regional. Let's take a look at the Princeton Tigers defensively. Balkin in left, Szymanski in center, Cellini in right, Eldridge at first, Young at second, Chernoff at short, Miller the third baseman, Leahy is the catcher. And on the mound for the Princeton Tigers is the right-hander Ryan Quillian, a senior out of Atlanta, Georgia, played at the Westminster School.
Quillian on the season is 6-4, making his 11th start, 64 2/3 innings, 28 runs, 22 earned on 60 hits, and he struck out 49 and walked 15 on the year.
Let's take a look at the Tigers batting order. Sean Gamble will lead off in left. Javon Moran batting second. Tug Hewlett third. Bobby Huddleston is the cleanup hitter. Carl Ammonite, the first baseman, batting fifth. Cleet Thomas in right, batting sixth. Scott Shade is the third baseman. He is batting seventh. Derek Sain, the DH tonight. He is batting eighth. And Chuck Giralman is the shortstop and batting ninth. And the conditions, 77 degrees, 47% humidity, winds from the west at 6 miles per hour, and it is a gorgeous night for baseball. Your umpiring crew tonight has Jeff Jenkins, along with Scott Graham, Dale Luker, and Terry Mann.
Leading off for Auburn, number 2, left fielder Sean Gamble.
In this Auburn ball club at 40-19, just how better off they would be had Josh Bell not suffered that broken bone late in the season.
Well, Auburn would have its backup catcher and also its everyday DH and a guy that can also pitch pretty well in addition.
Well, here's Gamble, and he takes a strike to start the ball game, and we are underway in the bottom of the first. Quillian, fly ball left field. Center fielder comes over, and he's going to make the play. And there's one down here in the first.
Number 21, center fielder Javon Moran.
Brings up Javon Moran, named to the SEC All-Tournament team, and rightfully so. Hit .429 in the tournament with a homer and 4 RBI. First pitch to him is a strike, and the count is 0-1.
Prime prospect, be a high draft choice after this junior season. I think Auburn's counting on Javon being back for his senior campaign.
0-1 pitch, and that is driven into left field, but right at the left fielder Adam Balkin, and there's 2 down in the inning.
You know that it'd be big for Quillian to get through the bottom of the first unscathed. Quillian, a lot of folks over from the Atlanta area to watch Ryan Quillian pitch. Came to Auburn, said he's been to Jordan-Hare Stadium to watch Georgia play football. He followed Georgia as a youngster, but has never played until today here at Plainsman Park.
Well, here's Tug Hewlett. He pitches outside, and the count is 1-0. He is one of 2 Auburn Tigers whose fathers played in the bigs with Princeton coach Scott Bradley.
Sean Gamble, who led off the first inning. Father is Oster Gamble. Tug's father, Tim Hewlett, both played pro ball with the Princeton head coach.
Yeah, Tim Hewlett played with Scott Bradley with the Chicago White Sox. And Oscar Gamble played with Scott Bradley as they were members of the New York Yankees. Counts 3-0 to Tug Hewlett. First team All-SEC second baseman. 3-0 pitch in there for a strike, and the count is 3-1.
Connection with Auburn doesn't end there with Scott Bradley. Played a year of minor league baseball with Auburn head coach Steve Renfro as well.
There's Ryan Quillian. 3-1 pitch. Chop foul down the first base line. The count goes full 3-2.
Hewlett, first team All-SEC second baseman for a good portion of the year. Led the league in hitting. Batting .373, leading Auburn this season as a sophomore.
Full house here at Plainsman Park as they're stretched. All the seats are filled, and they filled up all the grassy areas that they possibly can, and they're lined up in center field as well, out there in the parking lot. And Hewlett draws the walk, and the Tigers, the Auburn Tigers that is, has their first base runner of the night. There's the crowd out in center field.
That's the free seats here.
Yeah. It stretches even further up if you go to deep center field. They're all way up there on the hill. Scott Bradley, there they are up there on the hill. Don't know how good the view is up there, but at least you're part of the atmosphere. I think that's the whole point. Here's Bobby Huddleston at 327, 12 homers and 61 RBI.
Don't have to stop tailgating up there either.
That's right. The party continues up there, doesn't stop at the gates. Pitch at the knees is a strike, and the count is 0-1 to Huddleston. Huddleston, one of the hottest hitters for Auburn here in the month of May, hitting .391 and has hit safely in 13 of his last 14 games.
Member of the All-SEC tournament team, the second team All-SEC designated hitter this season.
0-1 pitch. Fly ball, center field. Zemansky makes the play, and the inning's over. Tigers get a base runner but fail to score. We played one from Auburn. Auburn and Princeton are scoreless. If it's business or pleasure that brings you to the Auburn-Opelika area in the near future, the place to stop is the Hilton Garden Inn. It's the #1 garden inn in the country and guest loyalty. You can book your stay right now at 334-502-3500. Check out the Great American Grill. It's open for breakfast and dinner with complimentary room service located on Interstate 85 at exit 57. When CSS comes to Auburn, it stays at Hilton Garden Inn. Top of the second for the Princeton Tigers. Scoreless ball game. Lavelle Spigner going through the top half of the first three hitters for Princeton. 1, 2, 3, striking out the last two batters. And Ryan Eldridge, the first baseman, will lead off for Princeton here to start the second. Eldridge at .316, 2 homers and 20 RBI. Eldridge, a sophomore out of North Stafford High School in Stafford, Virginia, and he takes a strike, and the count is 0-1. Spigner, 0-1 pitch. Chop to the second baseman Hewlett. This time he can do it the conventional way and throw it, and there's one down. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Andy Cellini.
45, right fielder Andy Cellini.
Cellini batting .281, a couple of homers and 26 RBI on the season. Cellini, a freshman out of Phillips Andover High School in Andover, Massachusetts. First pitch to Cellini. He chops it to Girolamo. That's an easy play. Who sidearm it over to Ammonite. 2 down in the inning.
3 pitches and 2 outs for Lavelle Spigner. Couldn't ask much more for Lavelle at this point.
Keep going like that, you can throw a lot of innings.
And important for whichever team that wins this game, or even doesn't, for that starter to go deep in the game. We saw Clemson use 5 pitchers in the loss earlier today.
And Ohio State used 4, or was it 3? It was 4?
I think it was 3.
It was 3, that's right. Davis came on, you're right, it was 3. It was 3. Yeah, Clemson was the one who really taxed their bullpen. 1-0, foul back. And it's 1-1 to Leahy. Leahy, a junior out of St. John's in Worcester, Massachusetts. 1-1. Missed low, and it's 2-1. Well, the loser of this game has a really quick turnaround. 2-1 pitch. Missed low, it's 3-1. They have to play Clemson tomorrow in an elimination game at 12:30 Eastern.
Got to be careful. This guy has 11 homers on the year.
3-1 pitch, and that's a ground ball. Oh, handcuffs Girolamo, and he cannot make the play. That's a hard hit ball, but right at him. And let's see, they probably will challenge him in error. It was right at him.
Not sure they've got another choice. This is a rocket that he knocks down. If he's able to reach down with the bare hand and make the play, they get him out and give him a base hit. An infield single for Leahy.
In fairness to Girolamo, the ball was hard hit, but usually, even if it's hard hit or not, if it's hit right at you, they expect you to make the play. But it's a base hit, and you really can't argue it that much. And Leahy is on it first, and here's Adam Balcom. Saw Balcom's numbers on the season. Sophomore out of Roslyn, New York, and he rips that one into right field, and that's going to go all the way to the wall. Leahy is going to be held at third. Stand-up double for Balcom, and two-out trouble for the Auburn Tigers as Princeton has runners at second and third.
Balcom jumped on the first pitch, his sixth double of the year, into the corner. Another look at this one. Was able to pull it. Was up in the strike zone a little bit and to the wall. Cleek Thomas does a pretty good job getting to this one in time and holding Leahy to third base. A two-out double for Adam Balcom.
And this brings up the shortstop, Mike Chernoff. 248, no homers, and 17 RBI on the season. First pitch to Chernoff is a strike, and the count is 0-1. Chernoff, a senior out of Livingston, New Jersey. 0-1 pitch. Called strike on the outside corner. It's 0-2.
Don't be surprised if Spigner goes to the splitter here, which would go down and into the right-handed hitter.
2-1 for Princeton. 0-2 pitch. Just off the corner, and it's 1-2.
Tried to get the curve on the outside edge.
The 1-2 pitch. Chernoff stays alive. Count remains 1-2. Shadows covering nearly all of the field at this point. Sun out on center field and right center field, but that's about it. 1-2 pitch outside, and the count's 2-2. He was just kind of floating out there, and Chernoff almost pulled the trigger. Second and third for Princeton. The 2-2 pitch struck him out. Third strikeout for Spigner in 2 innings. We played an inning and a half. Princeton and Auburn are still scoreless. Bottom of the second, Princeton and Auburn scoreless here in the NCAA Regionals. Log on to css-sports.com for your chance to win a Georgia PGA Golf Pass. Click on the Georgia PGA icon and you can win a free golf pass, good for discounts at over 200 courses in the state of Georgia, Alabama, and in the panhandle of Florida. It's the best bargain in golf. You can win one right now by logging onto our website and answering this week's PGA Tour question. We'll choose randomly from the correct answers to win a Georgia PGA Golf Pass, and you can do that right now by logging on to css-sports.com. Bottom of the second. Ammonite, Thomas, and Shea due up for the Auburn Tigers. Princeton got a couple of hits in the top half of the second, but unable to do anything with it. 16th NCAA regional appearance and the 7th consecutive for the Auburn Tigers, and 10th in their last 11 years. Tigers 4-3 in all-time regional games played at Plainsman Park over 2 separate occasions, and a high pop-up off the bat of Ammonite. Eldridge over in foul territory, and now the second baseman called him off and made the play. And there's one down in the inning. Right at the last second, Steve Young stepped in and made the play.
Looked like Eldridge was struggling just a little bit, didn't know how close he was going to get to the seats. And Young, who had a better angle, came over and did a good job of taking control there.
Brings up the right fielder, Cleek Thomas. Thomas at 287, 2 homers. and 25 RBI. Takes the first pitch for a ball. The count is 1-0. He is a freshman out of Lynn Haven, Florida. Played at Mosley High School. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike inside, and the count's 1-1.
Thomas is right up on top of the plate, so anything on the inside corner to most people will look like it's inside. It really crowds the platter.
1-1 pitch. That was inside that time, and the count's 2-1. Two balls, one strike, one down here in the second. That's a chopper back up the middle. Young can't get to it, and that's the first base hit of the night for the Auburn Tigers.
Clayton Thomas, a fifth-round draft choice, one of two fifth-round draft choices that decided to go to Auburn. Josh Bell, the injured backup catcher, is the other. As you take a look at this one to Thomas, just past Steve Young, who makes a valiant effort to get to this one. And Thomas at first with Auburn's first base hit of the night.
Here's Scott Shade, 304, no homers and 28 RBI. Takes a ball on the first pitch. Count 1-0 to Shade, who's a junior out of Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, and a balk is called.
It's our third of the regional so far.
I don't think I've seen one yet. There's been 3 of them called, though. I keep missing them. So a runner in scoring position now for Auburn, and Shade takes a strike, and the count is 0-1.
Saw 2 in the first game by Ohio State.
And they won despite them. 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed outside, and the count 0-2 to Shade.
Shade leads Auburn in strikeouts. He has 57 on the year, and he's quickly behind 0-2 in this at bat.
0-2 pitch, missed high, and it's 1-2. Auburn 32 and 13 when the month started, but 8-6 in the month of May. Of course, that includes a 2-2 record in the SEC tournament. 1-2, and that is hit in the right field base hit. Thomas is going to be waved around. Here comes the throw to the plate, and Thomas is safe. Auburn has taken a 1-0 lead.
Some aggressive base running. Steve Renfro sent him home, and Clayton Thomas, if we get another look at this one, watch the slide of Clayton Thomas here. Shade stays back on the off-speed pitch and lines it into right. Salini has a chance to throw out Thomas at the plate. Watch Clayton Thomas's slide around, and he gets the plate with his hand. Another angle at this one.
Gets the plate with his front hand.
Right.
Because had he relied on his backhand to get it, the tag probably would have got on him in time. But he reached in there like he was sneaking for a cookie out of the cookie jar and got it. And Auburn has a 1-0 lead, and here's Derek Sane. Count 1-0 to Sane. He's the DH tonight. Swings and misses, and now it's 1-1.
Sane will be used by Auburn against right-handers primarily in the postseason. When Auburn faces lefties, they normally would put Josh Todd in the lineup at first and have Carl Ammonite be the DH on the night.
1-1 pitch. Missed inside, and it's 2-1. Sane, a freshman out of Hoover, Alabama, played in his hometown last week for the SEC tournament.
Matter of fact, the teams in the SEC took batting practice at Hoover High School while they were there.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, and the count now 2-2 to Sane. So Auburn with a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second. A couple of base hits by Thomas and Shade, and a balk came into play because that got Thomas into scoring position. 2-2 pitch. Fouled back. They'll do it again.
The thing we've seen from Auburn already, the Tigers have been very aggressive at the plate. A lot of times Auburn will really try and work a pitch count, but they've been very aggressive so far against Quillian.
2-2. And that is ripped down the right field line. Let's see if it stays fair. It does not, and it's caught by a fan way down there in the corner. Nice catch. That's a police officer.
A fireman, I think.
Is that a fireman?
Yeah, in his overalls. Take another look at this, barehanded and jumps. He brought that back in the ballpark.
couple of firemen taking a night out at the ballpark. 2-2, and that is ripped into the hole between first and second. Shade touches second. He's headed to third. Cellini has some trouble picking it up and then throws wildly to the cutoff man. Heads up base running. Sane pulls into second. And there's going to be an error in there somewhere.
It'll be against the right fielder, Cellini. Derek Sane fighting off a two-strike pitch and then singles past the first baseman Eldridge. Cellini's throw back in, and really he was just trying to get it back to the infield. Shade wasn't going to try, and he was just going from first to third, but Cellini's throw gets past the cutoff man and allows Sane to go to second base. Pulls this one a little bit down and past Eldridge and into right. Cellini bobbles it. Shade never stopped running. He was going to third all the way, but watch. He misses the cutoff man Eldridge, and Sane goes down to second.
Well, here's Girolamo with 2 aboard, and he takes a strike, and the count is 0-1. So 1 down in the inning, second and third for Auburn. And Girolamo a chance to increase the lead. 0-1 pitch. Girolamo drives this one into center field. That's going to be deep enough for Shade to tag from third, which he does, and it's 2-0 Auburn.
For Girolamo, his 36th run batted in. He didn't even have 20 RBI a year ago and was used primarily as a guy that would sacrifice runners along.
Number 2, left fielder Sean Gamble.
So Auburn has put 2 runs on the board here by virtue of their 3 hits. And here's Sean Gamble, who flew out to center field his first time up. Gamble, the sophomore out of Montgomery, Alabama, played at Jeff Davis High School. Takes a pitch low, and the count is 1-0. And we already told you that about his father, Oscar Gamble. By now, you know, been watching any SEC baseball this season, that his father played in the bigs, Oscar Gamble. And we told you earlier that a teammate of the Princeton coach in the major leagues. Gamble pops this one up, shallow left field over near the line, and almost overran it. But coming back to make the play, and the inning is over. But Auburn scores twice on 3 hits. We played 2 from Plainsman Park with Auburn leading 2-0. Top of the third for Princeton. They now trail 2-0. They'll send the 9, 1, and 2 hitters to the plate here in this inning. Eric Fitzgerald, the designated hitter, will lead off for the Tigers to start this inning. Fitzgerald at 284, 3 homers and 18 RBI. Fouls the first pitch off. He's a junior out of Bel Air, Texas.
12-game hitting streak earlier this season, which was tops for Princeton.
0-1 pitch. This low, and it's 1-1. Winner plays Ohio State tomorrow in the winner's bracket. 1-1. Fouled out of play, and it's 1-2. It's going to be a busy day of baseball tomorrow, and it all starts at 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central here on CSS, as Clemson awaits the loser of this game. 1-2 pitch. Missed low and rolls back to the screen. Count 2-2. And then the winner's bracket game at 4 o'clock Eastern. Ohio State against the winner of this one, and then the winner of tomorrow's first game, which is game 3 of the regional, plays the loser of tomorrow's second game, which is game 4. So that'll be an elimination game tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern, with the winner of that game advancing to the championship game. 4th strikeout for Spigner. There's one down here in the third.
Another look at the 3-2 pitch, and Lavelle comes in. Ball moving down. And underneath the bat of Fitzgerald for the 4th K, as you take a look at Auburn's K corner out there in right.
Spigner's racking them up out there. And back around to the top of the order, Steve Young, who grounded out to Hewlett his first time up. Chop foul down the first base line. Princeton has played in 8 NCAA regionals. They've won only twice over those 8 appearances, 2-13 in tournament games.
Last one 2 years ago in the South Carolina Regional, won an elimination game against the Citadel after losing the first round game to Central Florida and then eliminated by South Carolina, but all 3 games very, very competitive by the Tigers.
This is the first meeting ever between Princeton and Auburn, although Princeton has played Clemson and Ohio State just a couple of times. And Young takes a strike and the count's 1-2. Tigers were 15-5 in the Ivy League regular season as Young fouls this back, and they won the Lou Gehrig division.
They have dominated the Lou Gehrig division in the Ivy League of late. They have won it every year since 1996.
1-2 pitch. That missed low, and it's 2-2. I mean, that sounds like you've done something. When you've won the Lou Gehrig division, you've done something important.
Absolutely.
The 2-2 stayed alive as he fouls this one off. Top of the third, Auburn leading Princeton 2-0. Just missed the outside corner, and the count runs full, 3-2. Princeton 1-9 against NCAA tournament teams this season. 3-2 pitch, and that's grounded to the third baseman Ammonite. He takes it by himself, and there's 2 out here in the third.
If Lavelle Spigner is getting strikeouts and throwing a lot of ground balls, and you know that he is pitching well, and other than the 2 base hits, the single by Leahy and the double by Balkin, everything else has been strikeout or ground out.
Well, here's the center fielder, B.J. Zemansky. He struck out his first time up. Swings and misses at the first offering from Spigner. Counts 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch. Missed it again, and the count's 0-2. Crowd sensing a strikeout. 0-2 pitch. Didn't get it. And as you can tell from their response, they were disappointed. Spigner working quickly. 1-2 off the corner, and it's 2-2.
Trying to work down and away against Zemansky, who has just 2 homers on the year, but 30 runs batted in.
2-2 pitch. Missed low. 3-2. So after getting ahead 0-2, Spigner's fallen behind 3-2. Payoff pitch. That is lined into left center field. Nobody gets it. Moran cuts it off and will hold Zemansky to a long single.
Well, Zemansky did a good job of laying off of 2 pitches outside and then 1 down. And then got a pitch to drive on a 3-2 delivery. Hit it into the gap in left center. Moran did a good job to cut that one off before it got to the wall and hold Zemansky to a single.
Well, here's John Miller. He struck out his first time up. That's with a runner aboard and 2 out in the top of the third. First pitch to Miller missed outside, and the count is 1-0.
We're going to need to keep an eye on Zemansky. He leads Princeton with 13 stolen bases in 15 attempts.
One-0 pitch, and that is lined in the center field, but Moran has it measured, and the inning is over. So Princeton gets another hit. Can't do anything with it. We played 2.5 with Auburn leading Princeton 2-0. Bottom of the third here at Auburn with the Tigers leading the Princeton Tigers 2-0. Day 1 of the NCAA Regional. One of 16 regional sites around the country getting started today. Each regional with 4 teams. The winners of the regionals this weekend will advance to 8 super regionals next week. The winner of this regional will play the winner of the regional being held in Lincoln, Nebraska. And Javon Moran leads things off for the Tigers here in the bottom of the 3rd. And Moran hits a high fly ball to left field. Balkan over near the fence, and he can't make a play because a fan did instead, and the count's 0-1. That's a couple of good plays by the fans here today. Fans have a good fielding percentage.
Yeah, fans have come to play as well.
Look at this.
Nothing to
Look
it.
at that.
Wow. Easy.
Old time baseball. They play it without gloves around here. 0-1. Moran. Let's see, what did they rule? He fouled it off, and the count's 0-2. Moran, second team all SEC and made the all tournament team. 0-2 pitch. Takes a pitch outside, and the count is 1-2. He is a junior. He's out of Lowndes High School down in South Georgia. 1-2 pitch. Struck him out. And that is the first strikeout for Quillian.
Got ahead on a 1-2 pitch and really take something off of this one.
Number 1, second baseman Tug Hewlett.
Pretty good movement there, and Moran just cannot lay off of that. Strikeout number 1 for Ryan Quillian.
Here's Tug Hewlett. He walked his first time up. Sophomore out of Shreveport, Louisiana. Evangel Christian. Takes a pitch outside, and the count's 1-0. If I'm not mistaken, that's the school the Booty brothers played at. 1-0 pitch. Popped him up. Left field. Balkan. 2 out in the inning.
Yeah, the youngest of the Booty brothers, graduating after his junior year, and is going to try and vie for the starting quarterback spot for Southern California that opens their campaign just across the street at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
At Southern Cal, replacing Heisman Trophy winner Carson Palmer. Here's Bobby Huddleston. Of course, Auburn opened at Southern Cal last year. .1-0 pitch. In there for a strike, and the count is 1-1.
Auburn got a close-up view of the opening game in the Carson Palmer Heisman campaign.
1-1 pitch. Missed, and it's 2-1. Of course, the Auburn Tigers will also be coming to Atlanta this year. Now, they hope twice, but definitely during the regular season to play Georgia Tech. 2-1, renewal of an old rivalry there. Eldridge comes in and calls off the catcher and makes the play, and the inning's over. So a quiet third for Auburn. We played 3 with Auburn leading Princeton 2-0. Auburn leading Princeton 2-0 as we go to the top of the 4th. Stick around here on CSS immediately following the completion of this game. The Bottom Line After Dark with Chris Domino and Nick Cellini as Sports Talk TV sinks to a new level. It's zany, it's cutting edge, it's late night sports talk here on CSS following the conclusion of this broadcast here on your source for Southeast Sports.
Lel Spigner with 53 pitches in the first 3 innings. Ryan Quillian, despite giving up the 2 runs in the second, used a 10-pitch inning in the third. He's at 44 pitches.
The first baseman, Ryan Eldridge.
Well, Spigner will face the 4, 5, and 6 hitters in the Princeton order. Eldridge, Cellini, and Leahy. Top of the 4th. Both ball clubs with 3 hits, but Auburn has the 2 runs. Eldridge taps this one foul down the first base line. 0-1 pitch. And that's hit to Hewlett. That's an easy play for him. He gobbles it up and throws him out. One down in the fourth.
Number 45, right fielder Andy Salini.
Spidner gets into a rhythm. He will work very, very quickly. Wouldn't be surprised if we see Princeton step out a couple times to try and break up that rhythm. Salini really taking his time to get in the box right here. Lavelle doesn't waste a whole lot of time.
You'll get no objections from me. 1 ball and no strikes. That's in there for a strike, and the count is 1-1. You know, and each pitcher has their own rhythm, and they, go at their own pace. But I think, me personally, I believe that, for the guys behind you, standing in the field is better if you work quickly. It keeps everybody in the game. If you have someone who's out there diddling around and it takes them forever to throw the pitch, that's just more opportunity, for your guys to fall back on their heels and not be ready. 2-1, swung on and missed, and it's now 2-2. Hit off the end of the bat and foul down the third base line. Salini grounded out to the shortstop his first time up. Night falling here in Auburn, Alabama. Second game of the day. 2-2 pitch. Tried to check his swing and he didn't. He's out. Strikeout number 5 for Spidner.
All 5 strikeouts swinging. Watch the sink on this one. Phew. That's the splitter that goes away from the left-handed hitter. And Salini not able to hold up, according to the home plate umpire, Jeff Jenkins.
Here's the catcher, Tim Leahy. He singled his first time up. First hit of the night for Princeton. Takes a pitch, I guess a little inside, and the count's 1-0. Breaking ball, that drops in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. Popped him up. Let's see if it stays in play. Ammonite, and almost made a play on it.
Yeah.
He got close. He hopped up there and tried to reach over the railing to make the play, and he couldn't hold on to it.
I think he actually did get his glove on the ball there as he was reaching into the stands. And see if the fans were cooperative for Carl there. Did they stay away from it? Yeah, it looks like it.
They did. It was over there near steps, it looks like.
Yeah.
1-2 pitch. Back up the middle, and that's a base hit. Second hit of the evening for Leahy.
Leahy comes in batting .236. He's 2 for 2 tonight. And that's the second 2-out hit for Leahy in this ball game. And it brings up Adam Balkin, who doubled his last time up. Well, Princeton's yet to get a base hit with less than 2 outs in the ball game so far tonight.
Makes it hard to rally when you start every rally with 2 outs. Makes it hard to complete the rally, I should say. Balkin takes a ball, and the count is 1-0. That was the 4th hit of the night for Princeton. They've out-hit Auburn now. 1-0 pitch. Fly ball, left center field. Gamble is there, and the inning is over. So Princeton gets a 2-out hit. Can produce nothing with it. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Auburn leads Princeton 2-0. Bottom of the 4th, Auburn leading Princeton 2-0 at the NCAA Regionals in Auburn, Alabama. We are live at Plainsman Park in Auburn, Alabama. And Matt Stewart along with Andy Burcham. Thanks for joining us here for NCAA Regional action on CSS. If you're just now making it home as you take a look at Scott Bradley, the Princeton skipper. Just now making it home, you missed a great game this afternoon with Ohio State holding off Clemson in a slugfest 10-8. Moving the Buckeyes into the winner's bracket and dropping the Clemson Tigers into the loser's bracket, meaning Clemson, who finished number 3 in the nation at the College World Series a year ago, is one loss away from being 2-out in this NCAA tournament. So Carl Ammonite will lead things off to start the 4th. He popped up to the second baseman in foul territory his first time up. Takes a strike and the count is 0-1.
Ammonite, second team All-SEC first baseman, junior college transfer.
Takes a breaking ball and waits on it, rips it into right field for a base hit, and that is the 4th hit of the night for the Auburn Tigers.
Ammonite is from Woolsey, Ontario. And,
Number 33, right fielder.
Folks are able to make a couple road trips a year. They're here at the regional. He plays in his first NCAA tournament.
Save it up for the big days.
That's right.
And here's Cleet Thomas, who singled and scored his first time up. And Thomas rips that into right field. And the Tigers have first and second and nobody out.
Well, Auburn now with 5 hits, and 4 of those hits have come from left-handed hitters. Thomas twice, Ammonite, and Derek Sane. The only right-hander with a base hit is the guy coming to the plate right now.
And he had an RBI single his first time up, knocking in Thomas. And so the Auburn Tigers with a 2-0 lead, looking to add to that right now.
Leahy, the catcher, out to talk to Quillian. Auburn leading by a score of 2-0, and back-to-back base hits to open the 4th, trying to add to that 2-run lead.
Now we have some stirring around down in the Princeton bullpen. I believe that's David Boley, the senior right-hander, I think is going to get up there and start working that arm a little bit. Here's Shade, acted as if he would bunt and took a strike, and the count is 0-1. First and second for Auburn, and nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th, already with a 2-0 lead. Quillian looking in. The 0-1 pitch, and again Shade wants to bunt, takes another strike. The count's 0-2.
See, Scott Shade has a protective guard on that left side. First game of the SEC tournament, Auburn taking infield practice. A ball glanced off of his glove and hit him just below his left eye and broke a sinus bone. That's why he's got that protective. I would imagine he'll wear that as long as Auburn is alive in the NCAA tournament.
Shade takes a pitch nearly in the same spot, this time a little bit further outside, called a ball, and the count is 1-2. He had a 19-game hitting streak earlier in the season.
Interesting, he was showing bunt still with 2 strikes.
See if he shows it again. 1-2, nope. Just sticks the bat out there and stays live.
Shade, Auburn's co-leader in sacrifice bunts on the year, along with Tug Hewlett. They both have 6.
1-2 pitch. Again, he's going to lay down a bunt, and it's a good one. One play, and that's the first, and the sacrifice effective for Scott Shade, who lays down a 2-strike bunt and moves the base runners up 90 feet to second and third.
His 7th of the year, 1-4 on the putout. The second baseman Young covering, and now a pair of runners in scoring position for the Tigers of Auburn. Have to specify the Tigers in this one, don't we?
Exactly. And here's Derek Sane, who singled his first time up. Sane fouls that one back. Base hit here would likely double Auburn's lead.
Great speed at second base in Thomas. Anything to the outfield, and you can almost bet that Steve Renfro would send Cleet Thomas.
0-1 pitch, missed high, and it's 1-1. One ball, one strike. They good look at Steve Renfro in his 3rd season as the head coach for the Auburn Tigers after replacing Hal Baird, who retired. Pitch missed inside, and it's 2-1.
Steve played his career at Auburn and assistant coach almost since the day that he left minor league ball.
2-1 pitch. Popped him up out of play, and the count's 2-2. Auburn was one of only 2 conference teams that had losing streaks of no more than 2 games all season long. Auburn lost 2 games in a row 3 times, but never lost 3 in a row this season. 2-2. Fouled back. Stays 2-2.
Quillian tried to throw the slow curve that time, and Sane stayed back long enough to foul it off. Not a bad pitch from Quillian, and a good job by Sane just to stay alive.
And you alluded to their difficult schedule earlier. 58% of their games came against teams that right now are in the NCAA regionals. 2-2 pitch. Missed inside. It's now 3-2. One more bad one loads the bases. And Auburn was 20-14 in those 34 games against those NCAA regional teams. The 3-2 to Sane. Walked him, bases loaded. And that is the second walk given up by Quillian.
Number 7, shortstop Chuck Girolamo.
Here's Chuck Girolamo. He knocked in Auburn's second run with a sacrifice fly his first time up.
Scott Bradley looking on here. Girolamo could double Auburn's lead with one swing of the bat here.
First pitch to Girolamo. Strike at the knees, and the count is 0-1.
Girolamo has 3 home runs. They're all to left field, and they were all no doubters. When he hits one, it sails pretty well.
The 0-1 pitch. Just outside, it's 1-1 to Girolamo. Full house here at Plainsman Park to watch the Auburn Tigers open this NCAA regional. 1-1 pitch. Fouled out of play. It's 1-2. One out here in the bottom of the 4th of a 2-0 game. Bases loaded for Auburn.
Real momentum swing here. If Auburn scores, the momentum stays with Auburn, but Princeton works out of this inning unscathed, and Big Mo goes into that Princeton dugout.
1-2 pitch. Breaking ball way outside, and it's 2-2. Ammonite at third. Thomas at second. Sane at first, and the 2-2 popped him up over on the right side. Young, the second baseman, comes over right where the first baseman had been and makes the play, and there's 2 out. So that's a big out for Quillian and Princeton.
Quillian, as a sophomore 2 years ago, was the Ivy League Pitcher of the Year, so he's had a great deal of success in his career at Princeton. There's one big out, getting Girolamo to pop up to the second baseman. And now we'll take something with 2 outs from Sean Gamble if Auburn is to add to this lead. Gamble is 0 for 2 with a pair of pop outs.
And here's Gamble, takes a pitch inside, and the count is 1-0. I don't know whether Quillian faced any of these Auburn Tigers in his high school days, but do know that he faced a former Auburn Tiger, Jonathan Scherholz, in his high school days back in Atlanta. 1-0. It's chopped foul. Jonathan Scherholz attended the Lovett School, and Ryan Quillian the Westminster School, and those 2 schools just a couple of miles apart there on the Chattahoochee River in Atlanta, and big rivals.
Jonathan now playing single-A ball with the Rome Braves, and we'll have some Rome Braves games right here on CSS later this year.
That's right, coming up in the month of July every Monday night. 1-1 pitch. Fly ball deep right field. Cellini, though, is camped under it, and the inning comes to a close. As the throw comes back in, Cellini perhaps forgot how many outs there were in the inning, but that was the final out of the inning. We go to the 5th with Auburn leading 2-0. The Hilton Garden Inn in Auburn, Opelika is the #1 garden inn in the country in guest loyalty. If you're going to be stopping in the Auburn, Opelika area in the near future, business or pleasure, you can book your stay right now at 334-502-3502. I'm sorry, 3500. Located on Interstate 85 and exit 57. Check out the Great American Grill. It's open for breakfast and dinner with complimentary room service. That's the Hilton Garden Inn in Auburn, Opelika. Top of the 5th. With Mike Chernoff, Eric Fitzgerald, and Steve Young due up for Princeton. Spigner has struck out 5 so far tonight. 1-0 to Chernoff. Breaking ball missed outside, and it's 2-0.
69 pitches now thrown by Lavelle Spigner.
2-0. High and inside, and it's 3-0. And he walked him on 4 pitches.
Well, Auburn leaves the bases loaded in the bottom of the 4th, and Lavelle gives up a leadoff walk for Princeton here in the 5th. See if they bunt him along here with the #9 hitter Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald struck out his first time up. That's 5 consecutive pitches now that have failed to find the strike zone, and Huddleston's going to go out there and talk to Spigner.
Princeton has a rule, not a team that bunts very often. Only 11 sacrifice hits on the season, and only 1 for Fitzgerald.
9-year major leaguer Scott Bradley, now the skipper of the Princeton Tigers. 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike, and it's 1-1. Seems like everywhere you go now, you find a major league connection at these collegiate ball clubs. Ground ball to Hewlett. He goes to second for 1, on to first, not in time to turn the double play, but they cut down the lead runner.
Fitzgerald's only grounded into 1 double play this season. Another look at the attempt here for Auburn. Big hop to Hewlett, the flip to Geralman, and his return to first, but Fitzgerald gets down the line well.
It was a slow hopper, wasn't hit that hard. So there's 1 out, and brings up Steve Young, who's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. Spigner misses with that pitch, and the count is 1-0.
He's fallen behind all 3 hitters in the inning.
Auburn with a 2-0 lead here in the top of the 5th. 1-0 pitch. Popped him up. Hewlett on the edge of the dirt. 2 out.
#9, center fielder B.J. Samansky.
That'll bring up B.J. Zamansky. He's 1 for 2. Struck out his first time up and singled his next time up. First pitch to Zamansky. Runner going, throw down, not in time. Good jump, and they had no chance at all of getting Fitzgerald.
Yeah, Fitzgerald had a great, almost a running jump that time on Lavelle Spigner. Very little chance for Bobby Huddleston to throw out Fitzgerald, who gets his 7th stolen base of the year in 8 attempts.
Look at that.
Yeah.
He was about 40% of the way by the time the ball left Spigner's hand. 1-0 is fouled back, and it's 1-1. So Princeton with a runner in scoring position with 1 out for the first, I'm sorry, 2 outs, which has typically been the case for them in this ball game. And that's a ball hit in the hole between first and second. They're going to send Fitzgerald. Nope, they're going to hold him. And then the ball gets away from Huddleston. Spigner backing up, throws to the plate. He's safe. Moving into second base on the throw to the plate was Zemansky, and it's a 2-1 game. And that's going to be an error, I guess, on the throw. Maybe we'll have to take a look at it. It might have been we'll see how difficult the hop was for the catcher Huddleston.
Cleet Thomas really charges this one strong. They held up the runner, and the throw home is off mark. Spigner tries to get the runner at the plate, but Fitzgerald does a good job to slide around Huddleston, and the runner in scoring position again.
And John Miller fouls this one out of play, and it's 0-1. Miller's 0 for 2. Oh, 0-1 pitch in there for a strike, and it's 0-2.
In all likelihood, an error on Thomas. It would be just his 4th of the year, but a critical error as Princeton has cut the lead in half.
The 0-2 pitch missed outside, and it's 1-2. And not only do they cut the lead in half because of that throwing error, it puts Zemansky at second, which means a hit from Miller ties the game. The 1-2 pitch fouled out of play. It remains 1-2. So a 2-1 ball game on the single by Zemansky, and then the error, which has been charged to the right fielder Cleet Thomas. The 1-2 pitch missed high, and it's 2-2. So one error on both of these ball clubs. Ohio State and Clemson committed 6 in that first game. 2-2, fly ball, left center field. Moran's going to take it, and the inning comes to a close, but not before Princeton cuts Auburn's lead in half with a single and an error. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Auburn leads 2-1. Bottom of the 5th. Young Auburn fan enjoying the proceedings here at Plainsman's Park. NCAA Division II baseball championships coming up Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern here on CSS as Tampa meets Central Missouri State for the D2 championship. And you'll see it Tuesday at 7 Eastern here on your source for Southeast Sports.
I think it's a couple teams that have become very familiar with Montgomery through the years in that D2 World Series.
Javon Moran leads things off here to start the 5th. Auburn's 2-0 lead has been sliced in half, and Moran takes a strike, and the count is 0-1. Moran rips this one into left field. Balkin at the wall, watches it clank off the wall. Moran digging for 2 and has it sliding.
That's one of the guys that even on a one-hopper off the wall can make it to second base with relative ease, Javon Moran. And for Moran, that is his 18th double of the season. And for Auburn, it's 130 doubles this year.
Wow.
Got one in on the hands and still got a round on it. Balkin plays this very well off the wall. One hopper, gets it back to the infield quickly, but Moran can fly.
And here's Tug Hewlett, who's 0 for 1 and bats with Moran in scoring position. And Hewlett hits this one down the line. Moran's going to score. Hewlett will make it to second easily as Cellini had trouble picking it up down in the corner. And Auburn has a 2-run lead again. It's 3-1.
It's at least a single and a run batted in for Hewlett. We'll wait to see if an error is charged out there in right. It is a double, and it's the 23rd double of the year for Hewlett. Took the first pitch inside the first base bag.
Number 31.
And Cellini, you'll watch here. Watch Cellini get over to the line. And he does fumble it. And Moran obviously scores with ease, and the Tigers of Auburn have that 2-run lead again, and another runner in scoring position with nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. So Auburn responding to Princeton's run in the top of the 5th with one of its own here in the bottom of the frame.
Well, now Scott Bradley is out to talk to Ryan Quillian. And Quillian will stay in the ball game at least for now. So Hewlett's down at second and still nobody out, and he's in scoring position. Auburn's already added back to their lead to make it 3-1.
It will be a single and an error. A run batted in for Hewlett, then an error on Cellini and right. So Hewlett still with 22 doubles on the year.
Gets the RBI though, and this brings up Bobby Huddleston, who's 0 for 2. Pitch goes all the way over Huddleston's head into the backstop, and Hewlett moves up to third on the wild pitch.
My guess is, Matt, that just slipped out of his hand. Maybe a little perspiration out there. That one just came flying out of his hand. I don't think there's any chance that he was trying to throw this inside. It just slips. Yep.
Sometimes also, if you're trying to throw a changeup, grip on that sometimes gets away from you too, and that's popped up into right field. Cellini, Young goes way out there and makes the play down the line. Hewlett was way down the third base line instead of tagging, and I don't know that he could have tagged on that one, but he was way down the line and had no opportunity to tag at all, and that's the first out of the inning.
Number 45, first baseman Carl Ammonite.
Steve Young was way down the line in right field to make that play. He covers a lot of ground at second base. And here's Carl Ammonite, 1 for 2. Ammonite takes a pitch high, and the count is 1-0. One-0 pitch. Strike at the knees, and it's 1-1 to Ammonite. So Hewlett's down at third. 1 run already in for Auburn here in the bottom of the 5th. 1-1 pitch. Chop foul. Count goes 1-2 to Ammonite. Hewlett singled, went to second on the error by Cellini, and then went to third on the wild pitch by Quillian.
Good job there to come inside on Ammonite. The infield in right now for Princeton.
Quillian. 1-2 pitch. Missed high, and it's 2-2. Ammonite chosen in the 45th round by the Giants as he takes a pitch inside. That was in the 2001 draft. Coming out of high school. Count now 3-2. High fly ball. Young goes back in right field. Cellini comes charging in, and Cellini makes the play, knocks over his second baseman, tagging is Hewlett, and it's a 4-1 ball game.
That's got to be one of the shortest sacrifice flies in a long time. Cellini really, I think, had the only chance to throw out Hewlett because of his momentum coming in, but he and Young get crossed up,
Number 33,
and
right
the
fielder,
collision doesn't allow Cellini to throw home in time.
So 2 in for the Tigers here in the bottom of the 5th, and Auburn now has a 4-1 lead. It's their biggest lead of the game, and here's Cleet Thomas. He bats with the bases empty. And Thomas fouls that one out of play. He's 2 for 2 here, a couple of singles tonight.
For Ammonite on that sacrifice fly, his 52nd run batted in of the season.
0-1. Missed. And the catcher, Leahy, throws it over his pitcher's head and into center field.
Now, this is the first game for Princeton since May 11th. They've had almost 3 weeks, and the big concern for Scott Bradley was not his offense, but his defense.
Thomas has to spin out of there. Took a pitch inside, and it's 2-1.
Seen 2 errors and a little miscommunication out in right as a result of that layoff, perhaps, as Thomas spins out of the way.
Cleet Thomas drills this one into right field. The left fielder Balkin pause for a moment, then backs up and makes the play. And the inning comes to a close, but Auburn gets 2 more on the board. We go to the 6th with Auburn leading Princeton now 4-1. Are playing in Rome this year. Among them, first-round draft pick Jeff Francoeur, Kyle Davies, another outstanding pitcher. Brian McCann, who's the brother of Brad McCann, who plays for the Clemson Tigers. You saw him earlier today. That's the Rome Braves. Mondays at 7 o'clock Eastern, beginning July 14th here on your source for Southeast Sports.
One thing to watch here, especially for Lavelle Spigner, his pitch count is up to 86 through 5 innings. So unless he can really get a couple low pitch innings, you don't know if Lavelle can go real deep in this one. This wouldn't hurt, though.
Yeah, Eldridge helps him out by swinging at the first pitch and grounding to Hewlett, and there's one down here in the 6th.
Third time tonight that Eldridge has grounded 4-3. Give you some scores of games going on now. Second games at regionals. Florida State leads against Jacksonville 6-0, bottom of the 5th in Tallahassee.
It's not a surprise. Jacksonville got in with a losing record. They won the A-Sun tournament.
Texas leading Bucknell 2-0, top of the 3rd in Austin. North Carolina State 3, Lemoyne 1, top of the 6th at States Regional in Wilson, North Carolina.
First pitch to Cellini fouled off.
At the Houston Regional, the Rice Regional, Ole Miss and Wichita State scoreless in the bottom of the 2nd. In College Station, Texas, Oral Roberts at Texas A&M scoreless in the 4th.
Cellini watches that one. It's 1-1.
In Lincoln, the regional that feeds into this one, Coastal Carolina, the 2 seed there, leads Southwest Missouri State 2-0 in the bottom of the 2nd.
1-1 fouled out of play.
In Baton Rouge, the 2 seed Tulane and UNC Wilmington, the 3 seed, scoreless in the top of the 3rd. In Hattiesburg, where Southern upset 2 seed Southern Mississippi 5-3. Baylor leads Murray State 4-0 in the 4th. The Bears are the number 1 seed there.
Yeah, and they are the only number 1 seed not hosting a regional.
In Starkville, Mississippi State leads Middle Tennessee State 10-1 in the top of the 6th.
Ground ball right back to Spigner. 2 out in the inning.
And in the Atlanta Regional, South Carolina blanked East Carolina in the first game. Stetson leads Georgia Tech 4-2 in the top of the 7th.
Wow.
Indeed. I think Tech is the number 3 national seed.
They are, in the ACC tournament champions. In fact, but there was a big story in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution this week about this jinx that the ACC tournament champion, I forget the exact number, but it's been a long time since the ACC tournament champion got to the College World Series, as Leahy swings and misses. Last year, for example, Florida State was the ACC tournament champion, had a 25-game winning streak, and got knocked out by Notre Dame in the Super Regional.
Yeah, in Tallahassee.
The 0-1 fouled out of play, and it's 0-2. Could the jinx be in play again? The 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed, struck him out. Strikeout number 6 for Spigner, and his first since the 4th. We go to the bottom of the 6th with Auburn leading Princeton 4-1.
Eight pitch inning.
Bottom of the 6th, Auburn leading Princeton here 4-1 at the NCAA Regionals every Sunday night at 10 o'clock Eastern. Tune in to CSS for USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series racing this week. They're coming to you from the Holland International Speedway in Holland, New York. That's the Hooters Pro Cup Series every Sunday night at 10 o'clock Eastern here on CSS. We were talking about that supposed jinx on the ACC tournament champion. I don't know if it's a jinx, but the fact remains that only one of the last 11 ACC tournament champions has reached the College World Series. Georgia Tech, unless they can rally tonight, will fall into the losers bracket in their own regional.
Well, and you got to wonder, Matt, if playing 3 games on Sunday to win the ACC championship has taken a toll on Georgia Tech. And that takes nothing away from Stetson. Auburn knows about Stetson. They beat Auburn a couple years ago in the Atlanta Regional twice that weekend.
Scott Shade leads things off. That's in there for a strike. The count is 0-1.
83rd pitch tonight for Ryan Quillian.
Next pitch, ground ball hit weakly to the first baseman. Eldridge will take it. And there's one out.
Quillian, like Spigner in the top of the inning, really could use a low pitch inning. Spigner got out of the top of the sixth with just 8 pitches thrown. He has 94 unofficially in the game, and Quillian could use much of the same here in the bottom half of the sixth.
The Atlantic Sun Conference with 3 teams in the NCAA tournament. Florida Atlantic already today beating the University of Florida 4-3 in the first round. Stetson leading Georgia Tech in the first round. And the other team, Jacksonville, getting beaten fairly handily by Florida State. They were the surprise team because they got in by winning the tournament.
Well, although the Clemson baseball team lost its first game today, congratulations to the Clemson golf team, NCAA champions out in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Wow. 0-2 pitch. Missed inside, 1-2. And congratulations to Larry Penley, the longtime coach there. They're going to say it hit him, I guess. So Sane gets aboard with the free pass being hit by the pitch.
Another look as it's down and
grazed the back knee, I suppose.
I guess.
If you're going to get hit, that's the way to get hit.
Sane's been on base all 3 times tonight.
Here's Chuck Girolamo, who's 0 for 1, but did have a sacrifice fly back in the second.
Don't be surprised if Auburn bunts Girolamo here.
Girolamo takes a strike, and the count is 0-1. As I was saying, congratulations to Larry Penley, longtime head coach there at Clemson. He's had a lot of near misses with the Clemson Tigers, and they get that elusive national championship this year. We had a chance to visit with him on Sports Unlimited when we did the show up at Doug Kingsmore Stadium earlier this year, and visited with him and DJ Trahan.
Yeah, well, they were the #1 seed going in. They advanced out of the regional here at Auburn. That one misses outside to even the count. They shot 11 under on the last 2 days each time, and won 26 under for the tournament. They just ran away with things here.
Girolamo, the sophomore out of Wellington, Florida. 1-1 pitch. Nearly hit him. He had to duck under that. He gets away from the catcher, advancing to second on the wild pitch will be Sane.
Well, this is a fastball, and Girolamo has to duck out of the way in a hurry. Woo, that just barely missed the top of his helmet.
So now Girolamo has a chance to drive in a run here. Fouls it back, and the count goes 2-2.
Girolamo had 18 runs batted in last year. He's doubled that in his sophomore season with an RBI tonight. It gives him 36. Chance to make it 37 with a base hit here.
2-2 pitch. That is skied to right field. Cellini camps under it. Tagging and going to third is Sane, and he's going to be in there. And again, the throw in from Cellini was off the mark. And you mentioned it's been over 3 weeks since they last played, and their head coach, Scott Bradley, had said that was the one thing that he was concerned about. Actually, I think it was the Ohio State coach. Somebody who, maybe it was Bradley. It was Bradley. It was Bradley. It would make sense that it was Bradley. Bradley said that was the one thing that he was concerned about, was that the fielding might not be as sharp. As Gamble acts as if he'll lay down a bunt.
Well, the original question was, would his offense suffer? And he said, 2 years ago we had a 3-week layoff and had 50 hits in 3 games in the South Carolina Regional. My biggest concern is defense, and we've seen a little bit why here tonight.
1-0 to Gamble, and that is hit to the second baseman Young. He'll have the play at first, in the inning comes to a close. So Auburn threatens but fails to score. We go to the 7th with Auburn leading Princeton 4-1. Top of the 7th, Auburn leading Princeton 4-1 here at the NCAA Regional. This summer, CSS will broadcast championship boxing every Saturday night at 10 o'clock Eastern. Each week will feature the future stars of the boxing ring right here on CSS, your source for Southeast sports.
95 pitches apiece for Lavelle Spigner and Ryan Quillian. As Lavelle goes back to work in the top of the 7th.
Here's Adam Balkin to lead off the 7th for Princeton. Win or lose, both these coaches must be pleased that they haven't had to go to their bullpen. They likely will before the night is over, but didn't have to go to their bullpen early. Count now 2-0 to Balkin. As opposed to Clemson that used 5 pitchers in their first game, and Ohio State used 3. 2-0 in there for a strike, and the count is 2-1, although Newman, the Ohio State pitcher, worked into the 7th.
He was very good after giving up 3 in the first.
2-1. Swung on and missed, and it's 2-2. But from a pitching standpoint, Clemson must be hurting the most, as their starter Patrick Hogan didn't make it out of the 4th. The 2-2 pitch chopped over the head of Spigner and into center field for a base hit, the 6th of the night for Princeton.
Second base hit of the night for Balkin, who doubled into the right field corner in the 2nd.
Number 18, shortstop Mike Chernow.
Most of the hits have come from the bottom part of the order. Leahy with 2, the number 6 hitter, and Balkin with 2 with the number 7 hitter. And the other player with a base hit is Szymanski with 2, and he's the number 2 hitter.
And this is their first hit that has come with less than 2 out. Here's Chernow. And he hits the ball to the third baseman. Ammonite throws to Spigner, who steps on the bag just in time. He stopped short of the bag and then had to turn around and look where he was and step on it. And that's the first out of the inning, moving Balkin up to second.
Ammonite going to the backhand here. Flips to Lavelle, who's still a step away from the bag.
Yeah, there you go.
Number 6, the designated hitter Eric Fitzgerald.
So here's Eric Fitzgerald, who struck out his first time up, reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the 5th. Scored their only run on an error charged to Cleet Thomas. That's a chopper to Hewlett. He has to wait on it. Throws quickly to first, and there's 2 out. Going to third is Balkin.
Number 1, second baseman Steve Young.
And that'll bring up Steve Young, who's 0 for 3.
Couple ground outs. He's also popped out to Ammonite, the first baseman.
Spigner, pitch high, count 1-0. We'll be back with you tomorrow afternoon, 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central, for the elimination game between Clemson and the loser of this one. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. In fact, we'll have 3 games for you tomorrow. Plus, Atlanta beat WUSA Soccer to cap it off. So a full day of action tomorrow here on CSS. 1-1. Tried to check his swing, and he did, and the count's 2-1. The Beat will be out on the West Coast tomorrow night, taking on the San Diego Spirit. Two-one pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Hewlett backhands, throws, got him.
Saved a run, did Tuck Hewlett.
Princeton gets a man to third, but fails to plate him. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Auburn still leads 4-1. The Hilton Garden Inn in Auburn, Opelika is your place for business or pleasure when you visit the loveliest village on the plains. It's the #1 garden inn in the country in guest loyalty. To book your stay, you can call them right now, 334-502-3500. When CSS is in town, CSS stays at the Hilton Garden Inn, located on Interstate 85 at exit 57. And the new pitcher for the Princeton Tigers is the senior right-hander David Boley out of Redwood City, California.
Boley 6'2", 185, a right-hander. On the season, making his 11th appearance, but just his second in relief. He has 9 starts in a complete game, 55 1/3 innings. 29 runs, 23 earned, 67 hits. He struck out 43, walked only 13. An earned run average of 3.74. He was a closer as a freshman with 9 saves and a 1.91 ERA, but then went to being one of the weekend starters for the Princeton Tigers in his sophomore, junior, and now senior season.
Javon Moran will lead things off to start the 7th, and he takes a pitch high from Boley, and the count is 1-0. Quillian went 6 innings, gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, and a strikeout. And that ball is hit back up the middle, cue ball. Young gets to it, throws off his back foot, and Moran beats it out for an infield single. So, back-to-back big plays at second base. Hewlett got his man. Young couldn't get his.
Yeah, the difference is Javon Moran running on this one. That's a great play by Young. And a bang-bang play at first. But Moran, watch how quickly he gets out of the box. Well, he actually slips.
Wow.
Wouldn't even have been close otherwise. It shows you the guy's acceleration.
Well, here's Hewlett, who is 1 for 2, singled in a run back in the 5th and scored. He's also walked in this ball game. First pitch to Hewlett misses, and the count's 1-0. Runner goes. Moran is in there sliding.
24th stolen base out of 28 attempts for Moran, who got a very good jump on Boley. It was a strong throw from Leahy, but as they say, stole it off the pitcher. Another look. Moran sliding head first with his 24th stolen base.
So now Moran in scoring position. And the 2-0 to Hewlett. Acted as if he would lay down the bunt and pulled it back, and the count's 2-1 to the strike. Two-one pitch. Hit into left field. Balkin makes the play. Moran has to hustle back to second.
Number 31, the catcher, Bobby Huddleston.
Well, here's Bobby Huddleston, the catcher, who is 0 for 3 tonight. Flew out to center, popped up to the first baseman in foul territory, and flew out to the second baseman way down the right field line. And Huddleston takes a pitch high, and the count is 1-0.
Bobby's career began at Tennessee, transferred after a redshirt year, was a freshman All-American at Auburn, and second team All-SEC selection his last 2 years here.
1-0 pitch. Fly ball right field. Cellini over near the line makes the play. Moran will hold at second. That's the second out of the inning.
Third time that Huddleston has fouled out.
Number 45, first baseman, Carl Ammonite.
That brings up Ammonite, who is 1 for 2, singled in the 4th, drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in the 5th. Boley missed outside, count 1-0. Pitch in there for a strike, and it's 1-1 to Ammonite.
Ammonite suffered through an 0 for 16 spell coming out of the LSU series, but broke it with a big 2-run homer that gave Auburn a lead for good against Florida.
1-1. Missed outside, and it's 2-1. Winner advances to play Ohio State in the winner's bracket tomorrow afternoon at 4 Eastern. 3 o'clock local time. 2-1 pitch. Outside 3-1 to Carl Ammonite.
You got a righty-lefty matchup, 2 outs, a guy with good power, and first base open. Let's see if Ammonite even has something close here on this 3-1 delivery.
3-1 pitch. Inside corner for a strike, and it's 3-2.
Crossed him up with the curveball that drops in.
Payoff pitch with Moran at second. Hit off the handle. Count remains 3-2. It'll be interesting to see if Spigner comes out to pitch the 8th. Payoff pitch, and that is ripped down the line and foul.
Got around on it just a little bit too much, did Carl Ammonite. Something off speed from Boley.
Princeton arrived 27-21 on the season. Auburn at 40-19. 3-2 pitch. Walked him. Runners at first and second and 2 outs.
Number 33, right fielder Clete Thomas.
And it brings up the right fielder Clete Thomas, who was 2 for 3. Singled his first 2 times up, scored his first time. He bats with 2 aboard and 2 out. And Thomas takes a strike on the outside corner, and the count's 0-1. The 1 pitch. Low and away, and it's 1-1 to Clete Thomas. One pitch. Missed the off-speed breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
Clete was looking for home run number 3 with that cut.
Spun around. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 out here in the 7th. Auburn with a 3-run lead. And the 1-2 pitch just got a piece of the breaking ball that time to stay alive, and it's 1-2. Steve Renfro. Offering encouragement down in the third base coaching box. 1-2 pitch. Off the corner, and it's 2-2.
Boley isn't missing by much.
Two from Boley. Hit sharply down into the stands over there on the third base side, and someone may be injured. Someone may have caught that thing. It got into the stands in an awful hurry. Some of the medical personnel here at Plainsman Park rushed to their aid. 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. Pitch got away, and everybody's going to be safe. That's the second time we've seen something like that today. It happened in the first game as well, and the bases are now loaded.
Number 6, third baseman Scott Shade.
A wild pitch to Boley. The bases are loaded with 2 outs.
We'll bring up the third baseman Scott Shade, who is 1 for 2. Shade takes a strike, and the count is 0-1. Missed it, and it's 0-2. Tonight's attendance, 4,209. Many more than that outside the stadium walls looking in. Chopper to the third baseman, fires across to first, and the inning is over. So Auburn leads the bases loaded. We go to the 8th. Auburn leading Princeton 4-1. Top of the 8th for the Auburn Tigers. Auburn leading 4-1 here at Plainsman's Park in Auburn, Alabama. Matt Stewart along with Andy Burcham. Thanks for joining us here on CSS, the first day of 3 days of NCAA regional action here on CSS. New first baseman for the Auburn Tigers is Josh Todd, the senior out of Henderson, Kentucky.
So all three of Auburn's seniors now in the game. Todd, very frequently a late inning replacement from a defensive standpoint at first base, replacing Carl Ammonite.
So B.J. Zamansky will lead things off for Princeton here in the top of the 8th.
Imagine if Lavelle gets into any trouble at all, Auburn will go to the pen. He has 106 pitches thrown.
Spigner throws a strike and the count is 0-1. The crowd here at Plainsman Park still a bit distracted by the ball that went into foul territory and went into the stands. A big crowd still gathered over there along with the medics working on somebody. We haven't been able to ascertain whether it be man, woman, or child, but we certainly hope that everybody's okay over there. 1-1 pitch. Zamansky tried to lay down a bunt and missed it, and the count's 1-2. The line drive that went into the crowd over there didn't go into the seats. It was actually people standing
down the concourse,
and it went into it quickly over there. Had no chance for anybody to react. 1-2, especially if you're talking about a crowd that's fairly deep. We're now told that it hit a young lady in the back. So hopefully she'll be okay. 1-2 pitch. That's always the fear when you come to the ballpark, especially if you come to the ballpark with children. You want to be behind a screen, and if you're not, you can't stress often enough. Keep your eye on the ball. 1-2, grounder up the middle. Giralman throws him out, and there's one down here in the 8th. Princeton down to their final 5 outs.
Number 25, third baseman John Miller.
Brings up the third baseman John Miller, who's 0 for 3. Well, if Spigner goes the distance, what a big pick-me-up for Auburn's pitching staff here.
Auburn's last victory came against South Carolina in the SEC tournament, and in that game, Arnold Huey, sophomore left-hander, went the distance against the Gamecocks.
0-1. That's deep to right field. Thomas back at the wall and dropped it. Miller will pull into second with a double, and then the ball gets away from Giralman, but not far enough for Miller to advance. And let's see how they score that.
It's got to be an error.
Yeah, he just dropped a fly ball out there. He had to make a long run for it, but he looked like he got there. He looked like he had it, and then it popped out of his glove.
Clay Thomas had 3 errors all season coming into tonight, but he has 2 in tonight's ball game. It's in the glove and just pops out. And that will probably be all for Lavelle Spigner as Steve Renfro and Bobby Huddleston make their way to the mound. For Lavelle now, 110 pitches thrown, and that's about the limit that Auburn will allow. And so the Tigers of Auburn will go to the bullpen. Lavelle Spigner should get a great hand coming off the field, and does.
We'll tell you about the new pitcher right after this timeout on CSS. New pitcher for the Auburn Tigers is the sophomore right-hander Stephen Register out of Columbus, Georgia. Pitched at Shaw High School there.
Register, the SEC leader and tied for the nation lead in saves, 6'1", 162, the right-hander. Register with 15 saves on the year, 31 appearances, 3-2, a 3.00 earned run average, 48 innings, 18 runs, 16 earned, 39 hits, 53 strikeouts, 6 walks, 4 homers, 219 the average against Stephen Register.
And he comes in with runners at second, or a runner at second, and 1 out, and will face the number 4 hitter Ryan Eldridge, who has grounded out to Tug Hewlett all 3 times he's been to the plate tonight. First pitch in there for a strike, and the count is 0-1. Register has not pitched since last Friday night in Auburn's 7-5 loss to Alabama at the SEC tournament. 0-1 pitch, swung on a miss, and it's 0-2.
Spigner throws mid-90s with a fastball, has a very good slider, and has developed a split-fingered fastball this year.
0-2 pitch, struck him out on 3 pitches. 7th strikeout for Auburn pitchers tonight.
Another look on this 0-2 pitch, painting the outside corner. And that's just old country hardball right there.
Brings up Andy Cellini. Cellini's 0 for 3. Strike at the knees, and it's 0-1.
Partial line on Lavelle Spigner, 7 1/3 innings, 1 run. It was unearned, 6 hits, a walk, and a season high 6 strikeouts tonight.
It's a big time performance for Auburn in the opening game of this regional, and Register's throwing nothing but strikes. That's 5 consecutive from his arm since he checked into the ball game. Cellini sticks the bat out. It falls in left field. Going to wave Miller. He's going to score, and it's a 4-2 ball game. So Cellini on an 0-2 pitch just puts the bat out there and serves it into left field for an RBI single.
Register trying to get the outside corner. That's just a heck of a job of hitting by Cellini. And with 2 outs, the runner Miller going on the ping of the bat and scores. So both runs scored now, unearned runs. And the tying run comes to the plate for Princeton.
It's now a 4-2 ball game, and here's Tim Leahy, who singled his first 2 times up and then struck out his last time up. Leahy takes a pitch outside, and the count is 1-0.
And Leahy really the one batter in this lineup that you worry about his power if you're Auburn. He has 11 home runs.
1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, and the count is 1-1. One pitch. Strike at the knees, and it's 1-2. So Register has thrown 7 strikes out of the 8 pitches since he came into this ball game. 1-2 pitch, called strike 3, and the inning comes to a close. So Register comes in and gets out of the jam, but Princeton inches a little bit closer. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 4-2 Auburn. Bottom of the 8th with Auburn leading Princeton 4-2 here in day 1 of the NCAA regionals. Tomorrow here on CSS we'll have all 3 games in this Auburn regional starting at 12:30 Eastern. That'll be Clemson against the loser of this game at 4 o'clock Eastern. We'll have Ohio State against the winner of this game, and at 7:30 Eastern tomorrow night, the elimination game, the winner of the 4 o'clock game, actually the loser of the 4 o'clock game, will play the winner of the 12:30 game at 7:30 Eastern tomorrow night, if that makes sense to you. And then the championship games, either 1 or 2 of them, on Sunday here from Plainsman Park. Scott Bradley's Princeton Tigers running out of time here in this opening round game, having inched a little bit closer, but still trailing 4-2 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. And new pitcher for the Princeton Tigers is the junior right-hander Thomas Pauly out of Atlantic Beach, Florida. And the first pitch from Sane is popped up out of play.
Pauly is the closer for the Princeton Tigers. 6-1, a 1.25 ERA, making his 18th appearance and his 16th in relief. 6 saves, 50 in the third innings, 8 runs, 7 earned, 30 hits, 73 strikeouts, only 23 walks.
Pauly throws a strike, and it's 0-2. That foul ball by Saint in the general vicinity of where the young lady was injured during the last pitching change. They were able to move her out on a stretcher. And she did not seem to be seriously hurt. She looked like she had been shaken up by the line drive, but they were able to take her out on a stretcher, and she was conscious. So the 1-2 pitch swung on and missed, struck him out. They'll throw him out down at first base, and there's one down here in the 8th.
To show you the versatility of Thomas Pauly, he made 2 starts this season for Princeton, including the championship game in the Ivy League final series, and in both starts went the distance.
That's what you call a multifaceted pitcher. Starter and closer in one. You've heard of major league pitchers. There's starters and then maybe closers at like a John Smoltz, but never in the same season. Girolamo counts 1-1 now. In there for a strike, and it's 1-2. And people might argue, what's the big deal? But I mean, if you condition yourself to where you're pitching out of the bullpen, and pitching on short rest, but pitching in short bursts of inning or maybe 2 innings at a time, and then you have to throw complete games. It's a little bit of a transition for you.
Huge jump, especially when you're the closer.
2-2 pitch. Foul out of play.
And opponent's only hitting 172 against Pauly, who I've seen projected anywhere to a late first round, a supplemental first round pick.
2-2 pitch. Bounced it up there, and it's 3-2.
The fact that in both starts for Pauly went the distance is really amazing.
Three-two pitch. Fouled out of play. Count remains 3-2. Payoff pitch, walked him. That is just the 4th walk for Princeton pitchers, just the 5th overall tonight, which has been a rather clean game.
See if Auburn bunts here. Gamble has struggled at the plate. He's 0 for 4. He's popped up 3 times and grounded out. Gamble, a good bunter. He has 4 sacrifice bunts, but has bunted a number of times for base hits this season. Third baseman on the right at the even with the bag right now.
Gamble tries to bunt it and fouls it off the catcher's mask. And it's 0-1. 0 for 4. He's flown out 3 times and grounded out the other. Auburn with a 4-2 lead on Princeton in the bottom of the 8th. 0-1 pitch, again trying to bunt, and lays down a bunt. Pitcher Pauly off the mound, fires to first, and they got it. Eldred had to make a nice scoop over there as well. Runner goes to second on the sacrifice, Girolamo, and there's 2 out.
Another look, a bang play at first. Good bunt by Gamble. He gets down the line well, but watch Pauly. A throw to first. Boy, wow. Just barely nipped him at first base. Less than a half step, and another look. Whew, well, that's close.
Are you sure? And here's Javon Moran.
I don't have to be sure. It's Scott Graham that has to be sure. But now a base hit by Moran, and Auburn regains a 3-run lead.
Chopper up the middle. Chernoff throws wild to first. Racing home is Girolamo. He will score, and it's 5-2. Moran reaches second.
3rd error of the ball game, and I think That was Princeton's knowledge of how well Javon Moran runs. That throw to first was rushed. And Geralman comes home on the error by the shortstop, Chernoff.
Yeah, sailed on him. He rushed his throw. If he'd taken time, not too much time, but if he had taken time to get set, he would have thrown out Moran and ended the inning as it is. Geralman scored to make it 5-2, and here's Hewlett. So Auburn has reclaimed the 3-run lead in the bottom of the 8th.
Auburn manufactures a run with a walk, a sacrifice, and an error.
0-1 is swung on and missed, and the count is 0-2. Unlike the first game where we saw 4 home runs, little small ball here in this one. (0-2) to Hewlett. Tried to check his swing and got a piece of it, and the count remains 0-2.
He's just trying to get out of the way of that one. The bat found the ball there.
(0-2) pitch. Line drive, left field, base hit. Moran being waved to the plate. Moran is going to be out at the plate. Strong throw from Balcom nails Moran at the plate to end the 8th. But Auburn does get another run and will go to the 9th with Auburn leading Princeton 5-2. Top of the 9th. With Princeton's 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up, and the Auburn Tigers 3 outs away from advancing to the winners bracket of this NCAA regional at Plainsman Park.
Well, Spigner 3 outs away from getting his 10th victory against no losses and picking up a victory in his 3rd straight start. He went 114 pitches for Auburn tonight.
Hitting on for Princeton,
hard pressed to come back on Sunday. I don't think he'd come back unless Auburn was playing in that second game on Sunday perhaps and was down in pitching.
Right now Auburn's in a good spot as far as their pitching in this tournament, as Balcom, who made a great throw to gun down Moran to end the bottom of the 8th.
You don't know how hard that is.
First one off.
Excuse me. How hard that is to throw out Moran with 2 outs.
Yeah, he was running with the crack of the bat. And the count is now 1-1 to Balcom.
Also, good job by Leahy to block the plate.
Fouled back, 1-2. We'll be back on the air with you at 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 local time tomorrow with the elimination game as Clemson takes on, it looks like, the Princeton Tigers. One-two pitch. Little looper into left field, and Gamble makes the play, and the umpire tripped.
Oh, Terry Mann, the third base umpire, was going to cover second base. Actually, the second base umpire goes out to make the call. Mann was going to go cover second if need be. Gamble gets a late jump on this one and makes a shoe top grab.
Yeah, you don't see the third base umpire fall over himself. He tripped on the foul line.
Yeah, he sure did. Spun out over there.
For Princeton, number 40, Will Venable.
And Will Venable will come in to pinch hit. We talked about Venable earlier in the ball game.
This is the son of former major leaguer Max Venable. Played for the Giants among other teams.
Venable hitting .244 in the year, a home run and 8 runs batted in.
Swings and misses at that one. He's behind 0-2 to register. (0-2) pitch. Called strike 3.
I think that's the splitter there. His splitter looks a lot like a changeup. Take another look. Three pitches and Venable is done.
That's 8 strikeouts for Auburn pitchers tonight. 6 from Spigner. And here's Eric Fitzgerald, the last hope for the Princeton Tigers. He hits a fly ball down the left field line that falls foul.
3 of the 4 outs registered by Stephen Register have been strikeouts as well.
Stick around following the conclusion of this broadcast in the 10 o'clock hour Eastern Time, 9 o'clock Central. We'll join the re-air of Sports Unlimited, perhaps in progress depending upon how quickly this game ends. And then the bottom line after dark at 11 o'clock Eastern. 0-1 pitch. Missed low, and it's 1-1. If you missed it, Nick Cellini guest hosting for me tonight back in our network studios. His conversation with Veron Haynes. 1-1, hit foul, and it's 1-2.
Big crowd on its feet here in Auburn.
The 1-2 pitch. Missed low. And it's now 2-2, and now told that Sports Unlimited will not re-air after the game. It'll be ESPN News and then the bottom line after dark at 11 o'clock. 2-2 pitch. Struck him out, and the Auburn Tigers advance in the winners bracket with a 5-2 victory over the Princeton Tigers. So Auburn plays Ohio State tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock local time. Princeton, with the quick turnaround, must face the Clemson Tigers at 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 local time in the elimination game. We'll come back and wrap things up right after this timeout on CSS. 5 runs, 9 hits, a couple of errors for the Auburn Tigers. Princeton 2 runs, 7 hits. They committed 3 errors. Auburn now 41-19 on the season. Princeton 27-22. More importantly for Auburn, they are in the winners bracket going into Saturday here at this NCAA regional, and next face the Ohio State Buckeyes. Princeton will have to win tomorrow against the Clemson Tigers in order to stay alive in this regional, and either Clemson or Princeton faces the prospects of playing 2 games for sure tomorrow if they are to get to Sunday. Going to be joined by Steve Renfro in just a moment.
Lavelle Spigner now 10-0 on the season, and Stephen Register gets his nation-leading 16th save of the campaign.
Steve Renfro now joins us down on the field. Congratulations, Coach, on the victory and a big ball game from Spigner, as he's now 10-0 on the season.
Yeah, it was. Well, we really felt like we had to go with one of our best, and the guy that is the most experienced and probably the toughest competitor, and prep. He prepares so well for everybody, and it was a big win here. It's you could tell there was a little tension, being here for the first time in a long while. Our kids were trying hard, and their guy pitched a well of a ball game, and then their closer is just very, very good. So it was a nice baseball game.
Steve, you get good production from the bottom 4 of your lineup. They give you 3 of your 5 runs there tonight.
Well, we've done that all year long, and we've talked many times. The bottom has been very valuable to us, and it seems like a different group does it every time. So we're still waiting to hopefully get hot one time. We haven't been hot all year, and we're hoping maybe that'll happen soon.
Well, the balls were flying out of this ballpark this afternoon, and I don't know if you had a chance to see any of that, but you had to do a lot of manufacturing of runs tonight. They weren't flying out tonight.
Well, the wind died down, and you had 2 guys pitching. Their guy really did a great job elevating his fastball and pitching in and out, and then he changed a little bit in the middle, went to the breaking ball some. He threw a lot of change-ups and counts, and I thought Lavelle pitched very well also, so I don't think there would have been many runs tonight.
Your thoughts about facing a very hot Ohio State team tomorrow afternoon, Steve?
Well, we'll have to pitch better than we've pitched all year. I think they hit 11 home runs in their tournament. We saw what they did today to this park, and we're going to have to pitch very, very well, and we need to be able to swing the bats better and score more runs probably.
Well, congratulations on the victory, Coach. You have until 4 tomorrow to enjoy it.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Auburn, a 5-2 winner over the Princeton Tigers, and they will play the Ohio State Buckeyes at 4 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. We'll be back on the air here from Plainsman Park at 12:30 Eastern tomorrow with the Princeton Tigers and the Clemson Tigers in the elimination game. Once again, Auburn a 5-2 winner over Princeton. For Andy Burcham and the entire CSS crew, I'm Matt Stewart. So long until tomorrow from Auburn, Alabama.